Happy Thursday, you pop culture junkies. It's Pop Culture Mondays on Thursdays. It's me, Brooke. And again, for those of you watching, we've got Potato Hammerling here. He is real. He is not AI. I know he looks AI.
On Thursdays.
If you I can't believe how many people ask me, is that real? This is really him. He's really, I think he's ready to be a podcast star. As Kara Swisher, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I love her so much. As she posted on socials last week, come for Potato, not for me. Potato's the selling point of the podcast. So listen, I mean, she's not wrong. It's true. Look at him. But he could be AI video, guys. We have a lot to unpack. This week's newsletter, we go through a lot of it. The Taylor Swift album, the reactions to Taylor Swift album. Unfortunately, I can't play a lot of the TikToks because I'll get screwed out of copyright stuff and shut down. But we'll talk about them. I'll post some tweets about it. But we also talk about AI video and how many are fooling people all over, whether it's Sora, which is the new social AI video creation app from OpenAI.
Happy little accidents, just like you. You were a fucking accident, weren't you, kid? Let's yeet this painting like your mom should have yeeted you.
By the way, didn't OpenAI said they were going to cure cancer? And now we're in, they all do it. They all say one thing and then they always end up making a social media app because that's what the world needs. But Sora has some pretty scary videos we're going to show and other tools to use AI. Lots of people are being fooled, even if it's just sort of funny. It's probably the end of Hollywood. All of the business media are covering that. They had an AI actress that just came out that everybody's up in arms over. No surprise, but you also understand wait, we don't have to pay talent and we don't have to deal with the talent and all of that. It's probably where things are going, like it or not. We have so many other things to talk about. There was a few fun trends that happened this week that takes our mind off of the fall of democracy that seemingly is happening all around us. I'm not here to talk about that, though. We're going to move into fun things like a pudding trend in Germany that has come across the pond and hitting the hard streets of New York. Oh, do you want to get down? He's really into being on camera. I mean, he's like, I don't know what to say, guys. If you could see this, it's funny. And do we like this Instagram necklace? It's like, what, can you see it? It's so funny. So the TikTok trend, eating pudding with a fork. I'm going to talk about that. And we have a few other things like, I don't know, a professor who is going viral for her defending her class at University of Washington from a, as they say, Yahtzee on the socials, which rhymes with something else with the similar sound, rhymes with. And I know we're not a gossip site. We don't want to talk gossip here. TMZ and others have got that sort of under control, but sometimes things reach a meme status, and that is the Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban, aka her lesbian ex-wife now. The memes around their impending divorce are too good to pass up. And then I am going to talk about the love that I have for the new movie that just hit the theaters, P.T. Anderson's A Battle, what is it called? No, my God, I'm so bad. One Battle After Another. It's one of those titles that does not, I don't know why I can't remember it. I remember it more now that I've seen it because it becomes a part of the narrative. Potato, you want to get down? Do you want to get down? He might have to go down, or maybe he'll sit like that. So One Battle After Another. Let's talk about it. You guys ready to dig in? All right. Okay. So T-Swift. By now, I am assuming a majority of you have listened to the album. A majority of you have thoughts. I will say this, between some of the girls on the socials and I say this with love to all my middle-aged white guy friends, they don't like the album. And I mean, a lot of older white men really don't like the album. Like, I I would say maybe 20 texts over the weekend from men over the age of 50, all my friends, people I respect, admire, love, who were like, you can't really like this album. This isn't an album you could take seriously. This isn't something you really actually like. And I find that funny, to be quite honest with you, and think about the power of an artist. Okay, I'm going to put you down. Okay. Oh, and his time in the sun has come to an end for today's episode. He's just going to sit here and make noises and fart. So good for me, not so terrible for you. So the thing about that is, like, I think about an artist like, let's just say Debbie Gibson or Britney Spears or Miley Cyrus. Like, you don't get that much response from sort of middle-aged white men, whether they like the album or not. They just don't even, it doesn't even register. But with Taylor, everyone has an opinion. So let me just set the stage. The album came out at 9 p.m. on Thursday night on PT time, midnight ET. So that was Friday, October 3rd. Thursday, still my time. I had a little bit of a listening party with a couple friends in New York and a friend in London. God bless her. And we listened to it like right as that album dropped. And there were bops. Like, you get caught up in it. I mean, I felt like I was 16 again. I had my, like, dancing around in my pajamas in my room, listening to it. And the first song right out of the gate, The Fate of Ophelia, like, I actually really liked. And some of the songs, it was poppier. It's poppy. I liked pop. I am a pop girly. So I quite liked it. There were some songs I don't like. And as a whole, I felt like lyrically, as people are criticizing this as being a very juvenile album, I feel like they're only listening to some of the songs. But for me, this guy, his take on it, maybe not wrong, whether I agree with him or not, but maybe his take on this being for Travis is not wrong.
I saw somebody say that she had to write this album at Travis's reading level, and I have been deceased ever since.
And so now, like, everything has that lens, right? And I will say that. And I'm going to read to you, for those of you who haven't listened to it or couldn't care less, I'm going to read to you some of the lyrics of the song that is making people's jaws drop, because this is definitely a departure for Taylor. And let me be clear, before I get there, let me be clear. This girl is happy, maybe for the first time in her life, in a relationship, in her life, in her position. She owns her music now. She dominates. She has moved away from the petty sort of dramas with like Kanye and whatnot. And I'm just going to be really crass. She's getting laid in ways that she probably never has. And I say this not out of experience with Travis, but I stood behind Travis and his brother as we were walking into the Carlton Hotel in Cannes in France earlier in June. And as I put on Twitter and went viral, and like his friends retweeted it, I mean, they were lovely boys, but they're buildings. He's literally a building. Like, I don't know how, like, I am not a teeny person. I'm not a huge person, but I'm not a teeny person. And next to him, I felt minuscule. I felt like I could have gone into his pocket, like I was his pocket friend. He's a building. He's a redwood. Keep that in mind. He is. And she must be having the time of her life. And will that make you crazy and silly and goofy and cheesy and sort of horny and porny? I would say it seems to have been the case. I think it might be a little shocking for like the 12-year-old fans, but also the 12-year-olds are probably going over their heads. It's going to be one kid in school whose older sister or brother are going to explain to them what she's singing, and she's going to come in and tell her friends, and school teachers around the country are going to have that headache to deal with. Because let me read to you. This is from her song, seemingly about Travis, called Wood. So let me just read to you. Well, some of it. I'm not going to read the the whole thing in its entirety because it's repetitive. But Daisy's bare naked. I was distraught. He loves me not. He loves me not. I think it's like a flower. Does he love me? Does he love me not? You blow it. Get it? Penny's unlucky. I took him back and then stepped on a crack. And the black cat laughed. And baby, I'll admit, I've been a little superstitious, which is like breaking it down. She's had bad luck with guys, all of those things. You know, when you, does he love me? Does he love me not? You step on a crack, you break your mama's back, black cat. These are all superstitious things. Fingers crossed until you put your hand on mine. Seems to be that you and me, we make our own luck. A bad sign is all good. I ain't got a knock on wood. It's a play on what's to come. All that bitchin', wishin' on a falling star never did me any good. I ain't got a knock on wood. It's you and me forever, dancing in the dark, all over me. It's understood. I ain't got a knock on wood. Forgive me, it sounds cocky. He amatized me and opened my eyes. Redwood tree. It ain't hard to see. His love was the key that opened my thighs. I mean, okay. Like, it's pretty okay. Girls, I don't need to catch the bouquet to know a hard rock is on the way. And baby, I'll admit it, I've been a little superstitious. The curse on me was broken by your magic wand. Seems to me that you and me, we make our own luck. New heights of manhood. Remember, his podcast is New Heights. I ain't got a knock on wood. It's you and me forever. All over me, it's understood. I ain't got a knock on wood. Forgive me, it sounds cocky. He amatized me and opened my eyes. Redwood tree, it ain't hard to see. His love was the key that opened my thighs. Goes on. So you can understand it's not the lyrical genius that we're accustomed to, and it doesn't have some of the bridges that we're accustomed to, but she is writing a song about a girl who is happy with her redwood tree of a man whose wood has unlocked her thighs, or his wand, magic wand, has unlocked her thighs. It's the key to unlocking her thighs. Listen, it's horny, but I don't know what to say. All of these pop stars that are singing like pretty horny stuff, and everybody's upset that now Taylor is in on that. Girl is getting laid, like probably unlike any other time in her life. She has only been with like little skinny rocker guys or DJ guys or little English actor guys, and don't make a lot of noise when they're, you know, it is what it is. Sorry, I call it like I see it. She's now with like a football dude who's just like, you don't have to think too hard on what that whole situation is like. And I bet it's very freeing, and she can just be her down and dirty self. And I think it's adorable. It's my least favorite song on the album, but it's the funniest one. I wish I could play all of them. We could do a listening party, but I think it's funny. But this girl, whoever she is, somebody who ever runs a company that could use her should hire this woman, because this woman, I've never seen anything like it. She breaks this shit down. So just take a second, honestly, listen to her. And if you're not watching, it's hard to explain if you're not watching, which is why I'm going to urge all of you audio people to check this video out, because she's going through all of Taylor's different vinyls, all of her albums, from this current album, Life of a Showgirl, to all of the ones starting from the most recent to all the way back to when she was still in country. And she breaks it down like, you think this is the lyrically like upsetting one? Let's break it down. So listen to her break it down for us. And I think you might have a change of opinion if you don't like the album. I would say give it a listen again after this podcast. But here's my favorite girl.
So people don't like this album because it's not lyric-y enough and doesn't fit the vibes of Tortured Poets Department. But people didn't like Tortured Poets Department at first because it was too lyric-y and didn't fit the pop vibes of Midnights. But people didn't like Midnights at first because it didn't fit the vibes of Evermore and Folklore. And people didn't like Folklore at first because it didn't fit the pop vibes of Lover and Reputation. Now, I'm going to take a pause right here. Y'all remember that the song Me is on Lover, and we still think that this is the downfall of her lyrical geniusness? Anywho, people didn't like Taylor Swift in between 1989 and Reputation. Speaking of 1989, people didn't like this album because this was her official transition from country to pop. Also, the songs Welcome to New York and Shake It Off are on here. And again, we think that this is the downfall of her lyrical geniusness. People didn't like her in country because all she did was talk about breakups. I'm going to take a pause again and remind you that Stay, Stay, Stay was also on here. And we still think that this is the downfall of her lyrical geniusness. She talks about throwing a phone at someone's head and he comes back wearing a football helmet. Anywho, again, people didn't like her when she was in country because all she did was write about breakup songs. But people didn't really like Fearless because Love Story and You Belong With Me were top of the charts and top of the hater list. And people really didn't care for her debut album, even though she was writing about love songs. They just thought that she sounded bad.
She's the knowledge. I mean, the knowledge. I don't know how many takes that took. I don't know if that was just, I don't know. I really don't. But she is incredibly well versed in all things Taylor. And the fact of the matter is there's a lot of support for this album. There's a lot of love. I hear it everywhere. I go into a coffee shop. I go to Pilates. I go to friends' houses. It's the backdrop. So despite a lot of people not liking the album, she's doing just fine, as did her movie, which was like a listening party / launch party for the album. It sold like, I don't know, like $40 million of tickets, something like that. She sold a huge amount of albums the first day, obviously pre-sale. I had bought an album that arrived from Target. We talked about it last week. It did arrive on Friday. It's glorious. She's also done a few things that the Swifties are a little pushing back on. And she's always pushed other things. Like, oh, you have this now you have this. This feels a little tone deaf. And maybe it was the way it was presented or packaged, but like literally the day that this album drops, or maybe the next day, she then puts out a post on Instagram and she's like, we're not done. Here are 4 separate CDs. Where would I play a CD? I haven't had a CD player since maybe 2004. I honestly don't know what I would do with a CD player. I have a record player. I listen to streaming. I'm sorry, I don't have a CD player. I don't know kids who have CD players, but they're now making their parents get them CD players. And I'm not sure, again, I'm not a reporter, if this also is being sold as vinyl, but 4 new CDs then came out with different inserts with different photos that have never been seen before. And the Swifties love their Taylor photos, different outfits. One has a bracelet in it, so you can have your Taylor Swift bracelet or necklace, something like that. And then they are 4 separate CDs. Some of them are acoustic versions of songs that are on the album. So if that makes sense. So you now have to pony up more money to have access to this special content. And maybe she could have spread it out a little bit. Maybe it didn't have to be so in your face. It feels very, well, as the kids are saying, like, you capitalist. Of course she's a capitalist. Of course we all are. But it felt a little greedy in the moment. And especially because all the discourse was going on. Then there's the movie that you had to spend money on. And they've just come off tour. So they're still reeling from the Eras tour tickets that they purchased. And now they just got the album. And their parents are probably pissed because their kids were up late listening to the music. They were sneaking it even if it was well past their bedtime. And now, on top of everything else, we have to buy these 4 new CDs to listen to these acoustic versions, to get the bracelet, and to have these special pictures. It's a lot. It's a lot. Gone are the days of where the Grateful Dead just let you record at their concerts and just get your tape and you would trade tapes all day long. Gone are those days, guys. So listen, there's a lot of discourse. Here are some funny tweets. In fact, I can actually read some of them while they're up on the screen because I think for those of you who are not watching, you might want to hear them, and I want to be able to read them. So these are just some of the negative ones. This is a funny one that somebody put out, made it seem like it was from Taylor, and it's just a backdrop of the orange glitter. It says, "No tour, need some time to bounce on wood. I'll come back when I feel like it." Which, I mean, all the power to them. This is a funny one. Pop Crave posted on Twitter, "What's your favorite song on the Life of a Showgirl by Taylor Swift?" And somebody responded, "The silence between the tracks." I mean, okay. And then somebody else tweeted, "I ain't ever seen Taylor get dragged like this. OMG, is that album that bad?" So and then there's one more. There's the disappointed Cillian Murphy because she was on Graham Norton last week with Cillian Murphy. And so there's the Cillian Murphy meme of disappointed Cillian Murphy. And so he's sitting there like looking at Taylor Swift while she's talking. And somebody posts, "Welcome back, disappointed Cillian Murphy." I think they're funny. There's a lot of positive ones that I would play. But there's music. And the music, as we have learned in this YouTube journey, much more so than Spotify or Apple, gets shut down real quick. So we're working on it. I guess I'll have to start licensing stuff once I start making $1 bajillion on this. So listen, I am all for the Taylor Swift discourse. People are talking about her. As this person posted, "Taylor Swift is officially the first person to be hated for simply being too successful." And perhaps they're not wrong. But lastly, I want to close out on this little segment on Taylor is that another funny little connection, and I talk about this in the newsletter, is that she dropped the album October 3rd. October 3rd is also a very famous date. It is the date for which this boy asked this girl, Lindsay Lohan, on Mean Girls, what day it was.
On October 3rd, he asked me what day it was.
It's October 3rd.
2 weeks later, we spoke again.
It's raining.
Yeah. But I wanted things to move faster, so I followed my instincts.
Hey, I'm totally lost. Can you help me?
But I wasn't lost.
Yeah.
I knew exactly what Miss Norbury was talking about.
It's a factorial, so you multiply each one by n.
Wrong.
Is that the summation?
Yeah, they're the same thing.
Wrong. He was so wrong.
Thanks. I get it now.
Lights, please. Okay, see you guys tomorrow.
And that became its own sort of like iconic pop culture moment. And that gets brought up every October 3rd. So of course we had Lindsay Lohan, we've had others sort of take advantage of that. But United Airlines hired that kid, the actor who asked what day it was, and had him do a United Airlines ad sort of featuring him about being excited about October 3rd. And then, then he's on the plane with a girl dressed up in celebration of it's the Life of a Showgirl drop day. Here it is.
I love flying on October 3rd because it's kind of like my own holiday. Big day today, huh?
Yeah.
It's cool if you want to ask me what day it is. You can't sit with us!
This is my seat. I'm 3B.
No, I know. It's just because today is... Never mind. Is stroopwafel a carb? What is happening? Nobody's asking me, and I really need to say it.
Something else is kind of going on today, but I got you. Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, what day is it?
It's October 3rd. Yeah, that feels good. Feels good.
So, the brands are all over it. Marketing managers are all over it. Social media managers are all over it. Everyone got into it. But now I think brands are like, ooh, the discourse. How do you navigate that? Like, what I didn't see as much on the launch of the album as I did on the announcement of the album was all of the brands getting in like they have. So I think they probably had stuff lined up, and then there was a lot of discourse about the album, and so maybe there were brands that decided to not explore that moment in time quite yet. But anyway, alas. So we're going to move into AI because at some point I don't even have to sit here. Like right now I am filming this. I could be sitting down the hill at the Sunset Tower drinking martinis with my girls, and AI could be doing this whole podcast for me. It's coming. Though I did see this, just so crazy. So using Sora AI, this created, now this, yes, I'm wearing the same sweatshirt in this because I made this sort of visual for me on Sora where it's a cameo and you just basically look at the camera and then you go up and down and right and left and you sort of look around and it captures you in the setting you're in, and then that is applied to the videos you want to use it for. So I used that capture and said, do a promo of my Pop Culture Mondays on Thursday podcast. I said Thursdays. They've decided to change the name to Thursday, but just keep an eye. This is very scary. Now, the voice is hilarious. It's somewhere between a Staten Island accent and like is there a touch of British in the beginning? I mean, you tell me, but holy shitballs, this is terrifying. This is literally, this just rolled out. So this is in its infancy stages. Check it. Hi, I'm Brooke Hammerling, and I host a podcast called Pop Culture Mondays on Thursday. Every week, I break down what's happening in the world of pop culture and why it matters. You can watch it right here on YouTube. Did you like that accent? It doesn't ask for my voice, so the fact that it even is comparable to my voice, I don't understand. It must have some other ways of capturing my voice that is not making me aware, because it's still sort of my voice, except with like a weird accent. So I'm very disturbed. But these videos are people are going to get canceled, as we were just talking about before the podcast. People are going to get canceled for things that they didn't do. I can't, like, I remember telling Kara Swisher, like, years and years ago when this started to happen, I said, there's going to be a whole industry of child porn that's like using, or revenge porn that's using the likeness of somebody without that person having done it. I mean, maybe that's the answer to child porn, like don't use real children. Okay, I can't even believe I have to have this conversation. But revenge porn. So like a boy and a girl break up and he is so pissed that he just creates an AI video of his ex-girlfriend doing all sorts of nasty things, and that spreads throughout high school or middle school. Like, this is the downfall. This is where it gets so scary, because the real likeness of things, it's only getting more and more difficult to discern. So this video went viral. It looks like a couple sitting next to each other on a subway in New York. And this beautiful woman is sitting next to the guy, and she just looks at him and calls him husband. And he's like, what? Like, totally taken aback. And it looks just very much like a meet cute New York story. And she's gorgeous. And she's just like, you're looking at her, and she's holding the camera, it looks like, and she's flirting with the guy and says husband. And he's like, okay, like, this hot girl's talking to me. Okay. And she's like, okay, husband. And I saw it, and the minute I saw it, I was like, that's an adorable New York story. Like, did they know each other? Was it staged? Was this really totally extemporaneous? Was he really taken aback? How lucky is this guy to have this gorgeous girl just flirt with him? And I bookmarked it in my TikTok feed as something to just go back to, because I thought maybe this is going to set off a conversation, with zero knowledge, because there was no markings on it at that time, that it was AI. And then it started to pop up in my feed with people being like, this is AI. This viral video is AI. And let me tell you why. So first, let's look at the video. if you guys have a chance to take a look at it, it's in the newsletter if you're not watching the pod, but here is the video of the couple.
Me and my husband. You okay?
Yeah, Hi.
Hi. So, husband?
Works for me.
Now, if you start to analyze it, if you start to really dig in, you see the person sitting next to them is actually not sitting on chairs. She's sitting at the door of the subway doors. So it's like these things, if you watch it over and over again, but this guy who analyzes AI videos for a living, basically, he can sort of hone in on it, breaks it down for us so you can start to spot the signs yourself and not fall for the bunnies on the trampoline or AI videos of couples on subways.
I'm that friend who can spot AI videos while you're like, how did I get fooled by this? Here's what we saw. It looks both too bad and too good at the same time. Too bad because it's really fuzzy. Phone cameras from like 2016 and on have all been high definition. This looks like it was shot on a potato. It looks really fuzzy, but your brain got tricked by the good lighting. That's why it looks too good. It looks like it's lit like a movie set. Subway lights are super harsh. They have harsh overhead lighting, so it doesn't fit. We picked that up instantly, but there were other tells too. Those black bars on the top and bottom, those are called letterboxes. That happens when you have to crop in or zoom in on a widescreen video. This was probably made by a widescreen AI generator, which is why it's so fuzzy. Then there are little artifacts that we can pick up on, like the hair that she has kind of appears and disappears as the video goes on. And then there are little tiny nuances in like sweaters and hats that get lost with AI video as textures appear and disappear. That can be subconscious. Finally, yeah, that person is sitting in front of the subway door, but I don't actually think many people pick that up right away. It's something that we say, something doesn't look right, and then we zoom in and we're like, oh, there's a person sitting in front of the subway door. So that's what a lot of your friends who just pick it up can find. Great news. You can train yourself on all that. You can say, why does this look so bad? Wait, why does this look so good? Like one of those things can click in your mind, and then you can look closer. That's the entire secret. Hope that helps.
But it's scary. I have friends whose kids are using, there's these AI templates, like a whole trend of where they make it look like they're making out with strangers and then sending the videos to their parents like, hey, mom, look. And they just walk up to a girl and start kissing her. And moms are getting this and are like, what? What is happening? And very much like these videos, there is a homeless dude that is this trend of making people think that a homeless guy has just shown up at their house. So kids are texting their dad being like, hey, dad, who's this guy? He's just shown up at the house, says he's friends with you. And I let him in. He said he was hungry. Or here he is sitting at the kitchen table. Or here he is in your bed. And here are a couple of those TikToks that showcase it. And the parents are like texting back, like, are you fucking idiot? Or calling them, like, are you dumb? So some of them are text, some of them are audio. You take your pick, but here are some.
Hello?
Richard, who opened the door?
Sarah opened the door. He's asking for help.
Okay, you fucking close the door and you call 911. How fucking stupid are you?
Why are you just letting random people in our home?
Wait, he said he was your friend from college. He said he knew you.
Jane, does he look like somebody I knew from college?
I don't.
What is it with you? Why do you do this to me?
I don't know. He just asked if he could use our shower, and he kind of smells.
Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, honestly, you're kidding. Like,
I don't know. He kind of smells. I feel bad.
You can't be this naive, Jane.
Yep. We are living in scary times, my darlings. Scary times. It's only going to get worse. And if you haven't seen this AI actress, this is one that Hollywood's up in arms with. This is only going to, we say now, well, they can't feel things. They can't show emotion. They will be able to. We're going to have AI writers. We're going to have AI producers. We're going to have AI showrunners. We're going to have AI actors, AI makeup, AI hairstyles. I mean, it's a pretty scary time, the industry. This is like the introduction of cars to the horse and buggy world. I don't know what else to say. It's the genie's out of that bottle. So what we do with it now, we only are just at the beginning. But on to more fun things. Let's just talk about pudding. There is this trend, which I'll let this woman explain much better than myself, this German American, where there are actually meetups happening all around Germany. And I'm talking like not just like a few people, hundreds of people, thousands of people showing up at a meetup with their pudding cup and a fork.
There's a trend going on in Germany right now that I don't think the English-speaking world is aware of, and I need to make you aware of it. It is called Pudding mit Gabel, which means pudding with fork, and people are meeting up in Germany and Austria right now in the hundreds in various cities to eat pudding together with a fork. I have done a deep dive on this. I have watched tons of videos on it. You can look it up right now, Pudding mit Gabel, and I cannot find the source. I cannot find the Pudding mit Gabel source. But when I tell you that the video is coming out of Vienna from yesterday at this meetup in Vienna, there might have been 1,000 people in that park, each with their own pudding, each with their own Gabel. They're tapping the lid rhythmically to get ready to eat the pudding mit Gabel together. There's all ages. There's kids. There's omas. Everyone is doing this. It's stuff like this that makes me laugh when people say that Germans aren't funny. I know Vienna isn't in Germany, but bear with me. The German-speaking world. Because this to me is peak German humor. There's no deeper meaning to it. It is pure absurdism. And yet it is so funny, and it brings people together. And this exemplifies how Germans are joiners. They will join your club. They will go to the park with you because they love to be in the park. And they will eat pudding mit Gabel.
There's a new viral trend in Germany, and it's already catching on in the US. Hundreds of young people are gathering to eat pudding with a fork. But why?
Gucken, was hier so abgeht. Bisschen Spaß haben, Pudding mit Gabel.
And started on social media in summer with events like this happening in parks all over Germany.
Eine Variante ist, wie viele Jugendliche zusammenkommen können, ohne viel Geld auszugeben und einfach auch mal irgendwie so andere Menschen kennenlernen können.
The attendees are mostly teenagers and young adults, with few exceptions.
Ich bin durch meine Tochter Mina hier. Das so verrückt ist, dachten wir, komm, wir machen damit.
This time in Berlin, more than 1,000 people took part, with most of them making sure that they don't leave any traces.
I love Germans. They get so much joy out of such little things. So we are going to meet up and eat our pudding with a fork. Yeah. So, and just another example of a meetup that's happened. A lot of people. But as all good things, they've come across the pond. They are making their way into the U.S. And there is a meetup, apparently like October 12th in New York. It's Central Park, I think. And people are going to get their pudding on with forks. So here you go.
Wake up. It's the first of the month. I brush my teeth and count.
These are simple things. Remember like the punch buggies when we were kids? Those, some people called it roly-poly, I think. I'm not quite sure, or something else. I don't know if it was roly-poly, but when a Volkswagen Bug drove by, you would hit your friend, be like, punch buggy blue, and everybody was into it. And that's what I really want. Like, I want everybody who's, if you know, you're eating your pudding with a fork. It's thick enough. You can do it. Just take your little pudding, eat it with a fork. I don't know why this is so hilarious, but it's hilarious to me. And lastly, before I get into the movie, this woman is iconic.
So y'all, let me tell you what just happened at the University of Washington. This is straight out of movie. So psych lecture going normal, and some wannabe Nazi fool storms in, throwing slurs, throwing up hand signs, trying to act bold. But baby, he picked the wrong professor and the wrong class. Soon as he started, students booed. A couple stood up, and that professor, Mama Bear Mode, she chased him out herself. The whole class followed, 150 deep, rolling like a squad. This man went from loud to terrified real quick, holding his hand up like he in Jurassic World. Sir, please. And then the moment. Professor walks up, flips him off, and that lit the fire. A girl pepper sprayed him, he panicked, started running, and the entire class chased him across campus like it was a track meet. Students vaulting benches, cutting corners. It was a full-on chase scene. They finally caught him, tackled him, and instead of beating him, they clowned him. Surrounded, filming, roasting, till police showed up. And he whining, but y'all supposed to be peaceful, boy, hush. Someone stuck a phone in his face like, yo, post-game interview, how we feeling? Iconic. That man walked in thinking he was untouchable and walked out a whole meme, justice served.
Iconic. So, unclear. The reports are that this kid was not a student. He's just a disruptor. He is a Yahtzee, as they say, which is so unfair to the game. I love a game of Yahtzee. I really, really do. But that's what the kids call the bad kind of people. So he entered a class, a lecture at University of Washington. And it was a psych class, and apparently it was a psych class about, I don't know if it was about gender studies, things like that, but it was lots of kids in this class. The professor was giving her lecture, at which point this guy, which is terrifying if this guy is not a student, how does he get access to campus? How does he get into a building? Even if you are a student, how do you get access to buildings and classrooms that you're not? Like, there needs to be a whole new system. Like, you should not be able to get into a classroom door unless you have some sort of like QR code scanner app, whatever. Like, that's what needs to happen. But he marched on in and got into the front of the class and started screaming some propaganda and some hateful stuff, at which point a few students started yelling back at him and chased him out. And we have so many different camera views. We have camera views from, so I'll just keep showing video while I'm talking, but there are camera views of them of when he's there in the lecture room, and then when the students start to go after him, and then we're outside of the building in like the quad or whatever, and you see this like massive amount of people coming from the class, hundreds, and led by this like blonde professor in her leather pants, and she's yelling at him and she's flipping him off, and she is just getting closer to him and just get the fuck away. She's protecting her babies, but she's also showing them to stand up for yourself and to tell him like, this is unacceptable and you get away. You are not, we outnumber you. We are not going to let you bully. You cannot be a narcissist and take this away from us. And he was very shocked. Like, he was the guy who was like sort of in control, and then they turned the tables. Now, he was being chased, and then after the professor got a little bit more bold and got in the front, another student then ran up to him and pepper sprayed him. And I don't know if that was necessary because he was not a threat at that point, but I'm sure emotions were high. The police came, campus police, whatever. He is arrested. And while it's like, yay, like kind of vibe, it's also terrifying. It's terrifying that this is the moment we're in. It's terrifying, especially, Charlie Kirk was assassinated on a college campus. We need to protect our kids. This is not like, if a guy like that can just wander into a classroom, all schools need to think differently now. Like, there needs to be a whole new system in place for how people get into buildings, how people get into classrooms, how people get into dorms. I mean, literally, I remember like the worst thing ever was when I forgot my Swatch watch protector, because we were doing like a trades when you had your Swatch watch in like 6th or 7th grade. Maybe it was not, no, it was like 4th or 5th grade. And they had those little rubber protectors, and then we would do a trade, and I'd promised and I forgot it, and I was apoplectic. I called my mom collect from a payphone, Convent of the Sacred Heart in Greenwich, and I sobbed. I'm like, you have to bring it. I will never be able to face the day. It was like going to be ruined. That was the worst thing I faced in school. Bullying existed. I'm not belittling that, but to be fearful of violence is crazy. So I want to end on a more positive note. So I am going to talk about the movie that everyone's talking about. Well, I say everyone. I must live in a bubble because when I wrote about it, and then I also put it on Instagram, that I said, believe the hype. This movie, One Battle After Another by P.T. Anderson, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Regina Hall, who, by the way, needs to be in everything. She is so spectacular. There is Benicio del Toro, Sean Penn. I can't even. The amount of partying I've done with some of the people in this movie, like, it's the fact that they are such incredible actors that I was able to remove myself from my memories of partying with them and like disconnect from the reality into the film is telling of all of those people, PT being at the helm. There's the daughter in this movie is an actress who is named Chance Infinity. That's her real name. She's like 25. She's spectacular. Like, this movie is a comedy, but there's also there's a lot of powerful moments to it, to the fact that I cried in some parts of it. I really did. And there's loss of a mom in terms of not like, no, I'm not giving anything away, just a loss, like a feeling of disconnecting from family, which is always, to me, very powerful. But it's hilarious. It draws you in. It's relevant to the goings-ons of today. And it's one of those movies, when it starts, you're like, where is this going? As much as I knew what I was seeing going into it, I didn't know. I was like, where is this going? And I felt like that. It was the wildest ride. It really transformed me in like, transformed me, maybe not. What's the word? Transplanted me to a different time. Like, I was there. I felt like I was in the movie with them. I felt like I was in cars with them. I was hiding. There was just so many moments of this movie that I just was like, my God. And then some Black female friends of mine who've seen the movie were like, that Maya Rudolph, who is P.T. Anderson's partner, she has had an unbelievable impact on him because he can write for Black women. He really got the essence, according to my Black friends, of Black women in this movie. But it's not just that. It is the film itself takes you to a place of disbelief and also, oh my God, this could be happening in our world. It's very timely. I will say Sean Penn gave the career of his life. I would predict Oscar nominations for almost everyone. I would hope Leonardo. I would hope Benicio. I would hope Chance Infinity. I would hope Sean Penn. I will hope for Regina Hall, though I don't know, but my God, she's powerful. I would hope for PT. I would hope for the cinematographer. It's a movie, and it is almost 3 hours, and it's not once do you look at your watch. And this is a Warner Brothers movie. And I say that because there is a rumors going around that the CEO of Warner Discovery, whose name I'm not even going to mention, I don't care, but he was apparently not happy with the people running Warner Brothers, Pam and her partner. These people, they did Sinners, they did Weapons, and they did this movie, which name again, One Battle After Another. It's not sticking in my head. In the same year. I don't even know how to comprehend, and many others, but like those three stand out to me as my favorite movies of the year. So I cannot tell you to run fast enough to the theater. And they've been it's been filmed. It's a very P.T. Anderson, Quentin Tarantino, AKA Beetlejuice mindset of filming in certain formats. So it was filmed on Vista Film, which is a specific type of film, which is P.T. Quentin-esque, and there's the Vista Theater here in Los Angeles. It's filmed on like different, again, just like Sinners, all different sort of film. And so they urge you to go see it in different formats. I couldn't get into any of those. Those theaters, those things were sold out for weeks. So I just went to see it on a regular old theater at the Grove in Los Angeles. I had some gummy bears, a big Diet Coke, and it was like the entire movie theater clapped at the end. And you don't really get that these days. Like clapped, like sophisticated people, regular, non-sophisticated, movie people. And I think that PT has the habit of like being a film major's favorite filmmaker, right? Like not mainstream. Maybe Boogie Nights was the most mainstream movie he's made. But this one, you don't need to be a film student to appreciate it, to love it. It's not precious. It's God, it's so fucking funny. And Benicio and Leonardo DiCaprio as a duo, sensei, chef's kiss. So with that, go see the movie, my darlings. Keep an eye out for those AI videos. Don't be fooled. Don't jump the gun before you've done your research. And I'll see you guys next Thursday.
On Thursdays.
You know what freedom is? No fear. Just like Tom Cruise.